There's a small little town on the main highway in Wyoming I found. It's like 20,000 people or something like that. It was like trailer park was for sale, 9 trailers or 9 lots, and it was like 330 grand. And I was just kind of running the numbers, and I think, you know, with a decent down payment of like 50 grand or something, the lot rent would pay for the mortgage and put money in my pocket. But you're stuck in this town. I don't know if I want any of that. I think that'd be gross. Perfect way they showed us how to get money, fuck bitches off this nose dust. Showed me how to burn the block down before it slows up, before the window of opportunity closes I think my landlord's like me, like red, black, white. Layer 1, let's see, we're trying to keep these at what, 25 minutes? 25, 60, let's do layer 2. I built a desk like a month ago. It was over a month. And I made a stain out of oil-based paint or enamel. Oh shit. And I was doing it barefoot. Like sometimes I like to work barefoot. And I got a bunch of it on my foot. And it's still there. I mean, I wanted to see how long it was going to be there without using paint thinner or mineral spirits. So it's like 5 or 6 weeks. Oil-based products do not mess around. So, gloves. It's my favorite coffee cup. It says it's a little Tyrannosaurus Rex with those reacher things, you know, for his little arms. It says I'm unstoppable. I just love that. I also learned about salesmen. I was trying to do too much. I was trying to find salesmen for 2 companies, plus found one, another GC company in Denver. So that's actually a salesman for 3 companies. And it sucks because I was getting like 200 hits or 100 hits a day per position. And I just overloaded myself. I couldn't keep up and stay in integrity with, communicating with people and stuff. So I kind of wiped the slate. I'm just going to call that a mistake, but here's a learning experience. I'm limiting interviews to between 5 and 10 a week, a couple interviews per position, and then I'm going to be more detailed in my job apps to weed out people that don't want to do it. Like I'm going to intentionally weed out the weak. So I'm going to do that, and then I think what I'll do is I'll launch the ad at, let's say, 1 p.m. And then typically what's been happening is by 7, 8 p.m., you have a pretty good chunk of people interested, like 25, 30, sometimes 50, because people get home from work and they look. So I think I'll just, at that point, I'll close the job offer and I'll go through those smaller pieces. And I'm just going to do one at a time, one job at a time. I think I should do Denver first, because they'll supply me cash with roofing sales. It'll supply me cash with by feeding max claims, and then so that's 2 sources of revenue from one salesman. I think that's a good idea. So that's my lesson. in Michigan, we had, when I was doing HVAC, which is like installing furnaces and air conditioners, ductwork, and all that in new houses. Me and my partner, we were a team for this company that was like the best around, you know, the absolute best, and they treated us all really well. Like, I was making more than my dad for a while, and that's how well they treated us. But we worked for it, right? Like, it was not a 40-hour job, it was a 55, 60-hour job. And I did that for 6 years. But there's this process in a new house where you have to do a rough-in. And a rough-in is where you install all the ductwork needed, like in the first floor and second floor, and you cut all the holes in the floor, like where your heat runs and returns are going to go. You run all your bath fans, your chimneys, all that kind of stuff. Anything that needs to be installed before drywall goes on is what a rough-in is. And then you run everything down into the basement, because in Michigan we have basements, and that's where all the utilities are. Like, that's where your water heater is, your furnace, your sump pump, which is like a pump that pumps water out of the basement, because Michigan is really low. Anyway, I was always on chimneys. So to run a chimney, you start on the first floor, and you cut a hole where you want it to go into the basement, and then you run this 5 to 6 inch round pipe up the first floor, and then up the second floor, and then into the attic, and then out the roof. And when you go out the roof, usually there's already shingles on the roof, and you have to like install the flashing so that it won't leak, right? Like, so you have to lift up layers of the roof, put the flashing up under there, nail it, caulk it, and, you know, paint it. Usually you paint it black, and then that's it. But going on the roof, that was like it's just like this thing we had, like when each of us had to go on the roof, it was time for a smoke. You know, that's when we would take our break. And sometimes, because it's roof, you know, like you get a good view of everything, it's nice being up there. But sometimes you would have, it's like a chimney chase. I'm sure you've seen them on the outside of a house. It's like a rectangle that goes up, and there's like a metal pipe that comes out on the top. That's usually for a fireplace. And so I would run those as well. And that's usually like 3 stories high off the ground. And you have to put this big metal pan that we would, or cap, that we would custom measure and build, and put that on over the chimney so that everything on top was waterproof, and then solder it so it's, you know, it doesn't leak. And I would climb, so you have to climb up there to do that. And I would do that, I would climb up, and then I would take my cigarette break on top of that chimney. So I was, you know, at least 30 feet high usually. And I would just sit there and watch, you know, look at the forest and all that. No, that's what reminds me of this. Like, there's moments where I want to take a break and have some tobacco, because it just reminds me of that period of my life. not really an excuse, but I noticed that was part of it. Because me and my partner, my team member, we were really close. We did some fucked up shit outside of work, you know? We should both be in jail for a really long time, let's put it that way. I guess I just missed that kind of camaraderie, you know? Did I quit?